Zero-Prejudging, the 78-year young bodybuilder. This is John Delemy, delivering to you, I believe, it's going to be a very powerful Motivation Plus Marketing podcast message. So, Zero-Prejudging. 16 years ago, I wrote a book titled 17 Highly Guarded Closing Strategies to Combat the Fear of Closing, quote-unquote, close every sale guaranteed, which, my core fundamental is opening up long-term relationships. See, in business, your client should lean on you and look at you as their trusted advisor. When someone wants to make a decision in their life, they want someone to give them advice, wisdom, advice they can trust. And that's what we teach. I've been teaching for 22 plus years. Core of in business and in marketing, someone can trust you to give them advice that will add value to their lives. And zero-prejudging really comes back to the core of how you are listening to me today. And I want to thank those of you at Good Pods. Looks like we're ranked number 3 internationally for sales and marketing podcasts. So thank you for listening and sharing and subscribing. I know someone in Australia just took the Motivation Plus Marketing podcast and blasted it through their team. They're very successful entrepreneurs, so I appreciate you on that. And zero-prejudging, because, and you may hear a little bit of a background noise as you guys get to know me. I record some podcasts driving, some podcasts in my studio. This one is actually a driving podcast. My wife is up getting ready to list another gorgeous home here in Florida, and she went up yesterday, and I am heading up today, and so that's why you might hear a little background noise. So back in 1990, I was out of college 3 years. I graduated Mercy College, and those of you that are familiar with my story, it's always good to reinforce the fundamentals. I graduated in 1987 from Mercy College, Dobbs Ferry, New York. Number 2 business student, had a full scholarship to LIU for an MBA, Master's of Business Administration. I graduated with a double major, a major in marketing, a major in management, and a minor in psychology. So in a natural, I was highly educated. I passed the test, and obviously I had the opportunity of getting my master's in business, and I've been a fanatic about business. One of my first teachings is called the sport of sales and marketing. There are guys that are fanatics about football, about hockey, about baseball. Just fanatics. They could talk for hours and hours about that one. I could talk hours and hours and hours about business and marketing and trends. I'm a fanatic about business. It's just what I grew up with, my grandfather, my family. I'm a fanatic about it. So 3 years out of college, I was bored. I was in my family art business, art gallery. I was working 6-7 days a week, getting up at 5:45 a.m., going to Metro Fit in Pelham, New York, and then working out, taking a shower at the gym, and then heading to the art gallery, loading up either the van or the station wagon, and dropping off the pieces of artwork at 3 stores at that time. And then I was running the one at Thornwood and Dobbs Ferry, and I got bored. I knew it wasn't really fulfilling my destiny. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take my corporate degree, I'm going to take my college degree and go get a corporate job. That's what you hear. Okay, that's what I was the first one in my family to get a college degree. And I said, all right. And I answered an ad. Some of you know the story. It said, make $10,000 a month, wear tailor-made clothes, drive Mercedes-Benz. And that was an ad for direct selling, network marketing. I never heard of network marketing, never heard of multi-level, never heard of the distribution of products and services through a network of independent distributors where everyone markets products and there's a percentage earned from products being moved, which is network marketing. Beyond the business, I got introduced to development. March 15th, 1990, I went out to an event. I got introduced to self-development. I got introduced to the book Think and Grow Rich, and then I started to read The Magic of Thinking Big. I started to read Earl Nightingale Conant, all the teachings, and I began to develop, pay attention here, very important. I began to develop what was in me. Now, at this point, I was a clinically diagnosed stutterer. I failed my oral report in college. In high school, I lost half my scholarship. I was very shy, very quiet, introverted, and it was on my mind constantly. So when I went out to the event, I got introduced to development. Now, when I walked in that event, there was about 20 people in the room. It was at the Rytown Hilton. If you asked everyone in that room to stand up and say their name, I could. I would have walked out. I actually coughed on the way in and covered my mouth so I wouldn't have to say my name, John, and I just wrote my name in a name tag. So if you looked around that room and someone would say, well, you know what? Just based upon how people's personalities are, how to present themselves, I would probably say that young, shy kid in the back that looks like Chachi, this Chachi hair, and he ain't going to make it. There's no chance on God's good green earth this kid's going to build a business. 10 years later, I built a multi-million-dollar business with over 45,000 distributors in 10 countries, and I earned my independent wealth of decision-making, and I actually, quote-unquote, let's just say, I don't want to say retired, let's just say that I moved to Florida. I began investing in real estate, and I began teaching success principles. So every time I write a book or every time that I teach, it's very important that I go back to the core fundamentals. Zero-Prejudging means no chance, zero, like zero. Like if you're driving a car, some people drive their cars and push it to the limit for fuel. If it says 0 miles left, you ain't going nowhere. If it's like zero, it's like from a scale of 1 to 10, it's a zero. It's just non-existent. It's zero. Not there. Zero-Prejudging means, and this is how I live my life, and especially as I'm getting in my mature years in business, I'm saying this very humbly, and next week I'll be starting the launch of all my interviews, all my podcast shows, and everyone's got me positioned as a legendary titan of marketing motivation because of my career, my commitment. I haven't done 9,000 things in 20 years. I've always invested in real estate. I'm an expert in areas of real estate. I'm famous for saying, God ain't making no more land, and I've been teaching true motivation, not rah-rah stuff, not artificial intelligence motivation. And marketing is a distribution of products and services to a client, communicating with them, and then adding value, being very streamlined and focused, and realizing that you have a right, your client has a right to know the truth from you. So, zero-prejudging, that means full expectation. Now, in the gym, I've been working out. There's thousands of you that have become new listeners. Once again, I want to thank the Australian team. I truly appreciate you guys sharing the podcast. I want to just kind of tell you my story. I'll be 58 here coming up November 5th. I've been working out every day of my life since 13. I've competed in natural bodybuilding shows. I actually won Miss Natural New York State. My nickname, AKA, also known as Johnny Natural, because I believe bodybuilding is fitness. It's getting healthy, not taking steroids and looking like a cartoon character. Fitness is getting healthier. Health and fitness is healthy and fitness. I worked with Jack LaLanne. When I met Jack LaLanne 3 times, I was a fitness trainer of Jack LaLanne when I was going to college. And recently, in the last month, at the gym, I've created a relationship, a friendship with this young man. He's 78. His name is Jimmy, and he's a natural bodybuilder. I saw him working out. I went up to him. I said, "That's old school move, brother." I said, "Now I'm 58." He goes, "Now I'm 78." I said, he was doing an old school chest move. He was doing an old school pectoral fly move. Most guys don't do it. It's old school. And I said, man, so you're in getting real good shape. You're going high reps. I've seen him almost 4 or 5 days a week there at the gym. And he says, yeah, I'm competing in a fitness show, bodybuilding show. I said, oh, it's his first one. So I tell my story. I said, I competed 8 times. I won 2 shows. I can't, the whole deal. I said, look, now this is where it's getting to it. I said, get ready, guys, for a wisdom bomb. I said, the show was won or lost in prejudging. And for those of you that do not know bodybuilding and fitness shows, obviously there's a night show that begins at 7 o'clock, 7:30. There's hundreds and thousands of people in the arena or the stadium or the theater or wherever the quote-unquote show is. But in mid-afternoon, between usually 12:30 and 3:30, there's usually between 4 to 7 judges that sit in the front row, like this picture of theater, and they're sitting in the front row, an auditorium, and they're judges. And you come out, there's no music, there's nobody clapping, screaming, yelling, there's no There's no smoke. There's no fire. It's just 4 to 7 judges that judge you. And that show, your title is either won or lost in prejudging. No matter what goes on in the evening show, you could have 90% of the stadium for you as fans coming to see you, friends, family, guys and gals in the gym, your community cheering you on, screaming, yelling, blowing foghorns. It doesn't make a difference. The winner of the class you're in is already chosen during prejudging. And I've seen this at shows where you have people that have, 30% of the audience is friends and family of the competitor, and the place goes wild. Yet doesn't make a difference. They come in 4th place, 3rd, or they don't even get podium. They come in 4th. And if it's boom, meanwhile it doesn't make a difference. They were already judged. Here we go. They were already judged when no one was looking. They weren't there. These people were, most of the time the shows are on Saturday. They're at they're working. They're with their family. They get ready. They go out for the evening show, bodybuilding show, see their friends and family for the gym and fitness people. They're all fired up, going crazy. Yet hours ago, the person at first, second, third place was already chosen by the judges. So zero prejudging means, see, behind the scenes, too many of you judge your potential. And when you judge your potential, let me tell you the ripple effect. Let me tell you what I call the cyanide, the deadly effect is you judge your client's potential for what they can achieve through your niche. And if you ask me, if you say, Coach Delemy, Speaker Delemy, Teacher Delemy, what is the biggest challenge in people's businesses flatline? I've coached so many people that have built successful businesses and they defaulted back to what their belief level is internally. Over 20 years, the biggest challenge I've had is I've taken many businesses from failure to massive success, and then many of them just default back to what their belief structure is. And that happens when you see the shows Bar Rest, Hotel Impossible, Mystery Diners, and so forth. They go in for a weekend, renovate the entire place, turn it all around, condense the menu, and then within a couple of days to a week, 2-3 weeks later, they will default, slowly ooze back to the level of thinking, the level of belief. They're judging the decisions the expert made for them to grow. And you see, zero prejudging is when you meet someone, like in that room that night, little did they know there was an international motivational speaker, a legend, a titan of motivation and marketing, John Delemy. The person who sponsored me quit. The person who ran the ad in the Herald Statesman quit. That's why quitters, I'm used to quitters because God used a quitter in my life to get out of me his gift. I'm getting fired up driving here tonight because let me tell you something. And I said to Jimmy, I said, look, you focus as if, because, fitness, it's carving up, carving down, water intake, sodium intake, niacin intake, flexing. He's natural, so it's awesome to see. He's in incredible shape. He's whole food, plant-based. The guy's in incredible shape. I said, look, you don't plan for 7:30 p.m. to be on your peak. You plan your body. It's fitness. It's all eating in the way that it's the carbs and the protein and everything gets. I said, find out what your prejudging is, exactly when your class is, and that's your peak. You peak for that time. You don't peak for the night show because you're going to win or lose in the prejudging because prejudging is in the afternoon. He's like, yeah, John, thanks. I said, look, I am telling you. So he's going to let me know the prejudging time. I said, call the organization, call the host, say, quick question. I'm in the Masters, and he's in the Masters middleweight. Ask them what time is the prejudging for Masters middleweight, and then you peak. Then that's your time. That's your game. That's the time. That's when you're all out, focused. The night show's fun. The afternoon is focused to win, and he deserves to win. He trains. He's a great guy. I'll actually be interviewing him shortly in the next couple of weeks, and his show's in another month, so over the show. So after the show. So zero prejudging. You have to wake up every day, guys, with massive expectation. Like today is the day you engage your number one client. That's the reason why I stopped coaching people that don't have a foundational structure because so many default back to their belief structure. They get around the same people. They listen to the same people. They have no vision. Today I had a conversation with someone about the 10-acre country estate. This is time sensitive. It is an area, Wailika and Seville. No one knows those two cities. And I had a conversation with the homeowner. I actually recorded it and sent it to the potential investor because I want to make sure everyone knows that that you can't say, hey, Delaney, I didn't tell you. It's like having legal insider trading on a stock. It's going to go. In business, you have to have the mindset. Now, that's how I believe. If Delaney, you can sell it. No, I can't sell anything. I can market what I believe will add value to people. That's very powerful. So I challenge all of you to have the mindset. Like, I know for a fact, everybody in real estate. That's the reason why this woman, Nancy, is listing. She actually has 3 lots. One home, it's a gorgeous lot. She's listed, you go live to listing either this weekend or probably next weekend with Christy. Because she goes, look, I trust you because I trust you and John. Because she's successful. She's been so screwed over in life for people with business because they're trying to take advantage of it. It's disgusting. And this is getting me more fired up in my own life in the areas of marketing and motivation because I love people. It comes from my core of my grand. You shake someone's hand. My grandfather would say, shake the hand, look him in the eye. No matter where you go, you represent Dilemma. You represent our frame shop, our gallery. No matter where you go, you're not like other kids. I don't care what the other kids are doing because where you go, you represent our core. And I'm telling all of you, zero prejudging. And I'm excited for that 10-acre country estate because I said to Christy, it's going to be an awesome part of your resume for a listing because whoever owns that is going to be a raving fanatic for Christy DeLemme because she's the realtor who's got the listing, who introduced him to what is going to be one of the most known cities in the country. Like Orlando is right now, but I'm just drove through Orlando and there's construction everywhere. But look, I am telling you, zero prejudging. And that goes for yourself. Stop prejudging your potential. That's why I develop. And it's so easy with the Bluetooth. I'm driving tonight. And as many of you know, we were honored and blessed to be able to bless Martha Avili with my BMW. So I actually am waiting for my other car to come in. And I have a nice little truck as a rental here. It's got an awesome Bluetooth. I've been listening 3 hours on a Bluetooth to self-development. Just learn and build and believe in. Learn and build and believe in. It's phenomenal. So I challenge all zero prejudging. And guys, very shortly, just watch the announcement. I'll be doing video podcasting. I'll be interviewing some of the greatest champions in business, success, and life. And also, we are going to be launching here very shortly what will be known as the #1 online store for personal development, success teaching. So over 300 of my teachings that I've accumulated over the last 2 decades of motivation and marketing around the world. So we're excited about life. We're excited about business. And guys, write down this city, Waileka, Waileka, however you pronounce it, Waleka, Florida, and Seville, like Cadillac, Seville. That's how I remember that one very easily. Cadillac, Seville, those are 2 cities that if you ask 10 people right now, they don't know it. But if you ask them about West Palm Beach, Orlando, they know it. Very shortly, they're going to know both those cities. And in Seville is a 10-acre country estate, secluded, on a dead-end street. And right now, as a homeowner talked to me today, he came out of his home and he thought there was like when there's power outages and situations for any kind of storms, like FP&L or Con Ed, when I was in New York, come out and fix all the power lines. There was over 30 power trucks today lined up. They're lining because they're going to a 4-lane highway. The power trucks are out. It's happening. I am telling you, opportunity of a lifetime. And I said to Christy, I'm excited for your real estate career because that just positions you. Wow, you were the one that got that listing. You tell me more. It's all positioning, boys and girls. And anyone you know interested in an opportunity of a lifetime, a rare find. Oh, I can market it because I believe it. I factually know it. It's game on time. As always, feel free to call or text us, 561-847-3467, 561 847-3467. God bless all of you. Thank you very much. Game on. Zero prejudging, next level. Once again, look at those 2 named cities, Waleka, That's where the Bass Pro Shop, largest destination to date they can have, 5,000 people, I mean 5,000 acres, and then Seville, like the Cadillac. Go out today, ask 10 people, have you heard of those cities? When they have heard of them in a very short time, someone's going to get very wealthy from positioning themselves at 10-acre country estate. And I'm excited that Chrissy Bellamy, my wife, is the listing agent for that. Let that sink in. That's called marketing. That's called positioning. That's called when they made fun of Jeff Bezos in 1999 with Amazon. And look at him today. God bless all of you. Dream huge. It's on.